So, in response to this comment from Mark Norville, I thought I'd do a ThunderBall update video. Now, I'm not going to read all this, but basically, I am not sure where you are getting your figures from, but you are wrong. If you read my comment, it says where I'm getting my figures from, and I will show you. We were talking about predictions for draw 2780, which was the Christmas Day draw. Now, looking at the draw history, we can see that it was on machine 6, set ball 7, and this is the draw that we're talking about. So I knew it was going to be machine 6 and set 7, and so when I looked on the analyzer, before I knew what the result was going to be, I was looking at this, and if you read my comment, ThunderBall 5 is most overdue, 44 since last occurrence, first 21 nearest number after, in set 7. This is summarising the chart for set 7. Let me show you the chart for set of balls T7. Okay, and we'll wind the draw history back to 2779, which is the draw before 2780. We're not looking at the main numbers, we're just looking at the ThunderBalls. And this is where I get my information from this chart. Now if we measure this, see 44 draws since the last occurrence of ThunderBall 5, set of ball 7. 44 draws, 21 draws to the nearest number after. So what I was saying in my comment that you clearly didn't understand because you thought I was wrong, what I was actually saying, if you read what I wrote, I was talking about set 7, and I was talking about this chart. All the numbers are down here. ThunderBall 5 right up there. You see, that's what I was talking about. I'll show you what you was talking about. Now, you was talking about full draw history for a start, including the draws before the number of main numbers went up from 34 to 39. And you weren't talking about the draw history filtered just to look at set 7, you were talking about the unfiltered draw history. And when you look at it like that, then that's where you get the frequency 214 for ThunderBall 5. Yeah, ThunderBall 5 was drawn 28 draws ago. Blah blah blah. Which in ThunderBall 5 is 214 times. You're talking about this chart. See? You're talking about full draw history, unfiltered, and you're saying ThunderBall 5 because what? Because it's been drawn 214 times. What about ThunderBall 8? 215 times. Also, more overdue. And now, after 14 has been drawn in the last two draws, look at that, we've got 3 numbers in that column. But if you look, we've got 8 most overdue for its frequency, most frequent, and most overdue. You want to be picking ThunderBall 8 now. And if we filtered it, obviously, looking at the draw history, you can see it's going to be T8 next. So if we filter it for T8, or set T8, or whatever you want to call it, then looks like maybe ThunderBall number 12 is most overdue for its frequency with that particular set. And when you look at just the relevant draw history, it's still the same. So I'll tell you what my predictions are. Now that 2 draws have passed since this little thread of comments, yeah. Well, this is what it looks like now. The next draw is going to be set of balls number 8, and it will be, what machine will it be? It'll still be machine 6. So rather than look at all these charts, I'll just look at the summary on the analyzer. And if you look at E6 and T8, that points to ThunderBall 8 again. Now, I'll just show you the chart for that, in case you're wondering what it looks like. So we've got E6, T8, there's the ThunderBalls. The one with the largest area is ThunderBall 8. And if you remember when we looked at the unfiltered draw history, it was, again, ThunderBall 8 that stands out the most. So, if we include the main numbers, right, now let's just ignore the ThunderBalls for a minute. Now we're looking at just the main numbers. This is a chart of all the main numbers. And the problem is, when you look at the full draw history, then this happens. See, these are the numbers that were added in draw 966. So we've got 965 extra draws that the other numbers are being filtered through. So we just flip that around. See, that's looking at the frequencies going this way now. That's looking at the full draw history. You see, these numbers are separated from the other numbers. So to eliminate that problem, I don't look at that. I look at it like this. I filter the draw history. I just look at the relevant draw history. The draw history where there's always been 39 main numbers and not just 34. And when we do that, we get this chart. So this is this section of the analyzer. The analyzer summarises this chart. We can include the ThunderBalls. So now I've got the ThunderBall section as well. So there's the ThunderBall section, the main number section. And so we can filter it by the machine that's going to be used. And when we do that, it looks like this. So the main number side, you can see we've got these two are more frequent. 21's most overdue for its frequency. And then on the ThunderBall side, ThunderBall 6, most overdue. Basically, this is summarised on the analyzer on this section. So now we're going to look at the ball set, which is set 8. So if we're just only looking at the draws where set T8 has been used, we get this chart. Now you can see main number 6 most overdue on the main number side. 24 is most overdue for its frequency, 22 is most frequent, and then on the ThunderBall side, ThunderBall 8 most overdue, 12 most overdue for its frequency, 9 most frequent. And that is the chart for set 8, which is summarised in this section of the analyzer. And then the final chart to look at is filtered by the machine and the ball set simultaneously to produce this chart. And this is where we see, again, ThunderBall 8 is the one that is most overdue for its frequency. And then on the main number side, 31 most overdue and most overdue for its frequency. And you can see that on the analyzer summarised just there. So I'll show you how I make a prediction. So you've seen why ThunderBall 8 stands out the most on the chart for the machine and ball set. It's most overdue with the ball set. Looking at the machine, doesn't really stand out all that much, but when you look at the full draw history on the main chart, you can see ThunderBall 8 stands out. Now, the main number, the most relevant chart to look at is the bottom one, because it's filtered by both the machine and the ball set that is going to be used in the next draw. So this is the most relevant information. And on that it shows 31 is most overdue for its frequency and most overdue. And now if we filter by 31, now these are summaries of the charts that you can produce when you filter the draw history, just to include the draws where 31 has been drawn. And what we find when we look at this is that the most frequent ThunderBall with this machine and ball set and with this ball set is 7 with main number 31. Now to show you that on a chart would look like this. So if we filter by main number 31, then you can see 7 is the most frequent ThunderBall, and it's the same with the ball set T8. There it is. I'll fill in that column. 7 most frequent ThunderBall with 31. So if we were to pick 31, then maybe ThunderBall 7 would be a better option to go with that main number instead of ThunderBall 8, because ThunderBall 8 doesn't even show up on these charts. So could do it that way, Or you could start with ThunderBall 8 and then say, oh well, looks like maybe main number 8, most relevant number. Notice it's second most overdue on the main chart, but it doesn't show up on any of the other charts. So, what numbers should I pick? Well, let's go back to ThunderBall 7, and if you notice, what stands out with 31 is, looking at these numbers, this is a measure of how overdue or how frequent or how overdue for its frequency each of these numbers are. When you look at this one, you see 21 most overdue. It's also most overdue for its frequency with that machine. So I'm going to pick 21. Now I'll show you the chart. Oops. Let me just show you the chart that is summarised by this section of the analyzer. And that is when we look at machine 6. Filter by 31. You can see there's 21 most overdue. And then when we're just looking at the machine, back to this chart, 21 is most overdue for its frequency as well. So that's why 21. And you notice it's also one of the most frequent with ThunderBall 7. ThunderBall 7 is also most overdue with 21 and machine 6 combined. So I think I might pick ThunderBall 7. Now if you notice, got main number 1, main number 1, main number 1. Seems to be popping up a lot with 21 and 31. So let's look at main number 1. See what stands out with that. See, there's 21. And also, if you remember, when we looked at the chart for the ball set, which is set 8, main number 6 stands out as most overdue on that chart. So let's look at main number 6. Because when we do that, then you see ThunderBall 7 most overdue with that ball set. So we just need one more number. Now, looking at this, maybe 19. Or 24. I don't know. In fact, 26, if you notice, most overdue for its frequency with ThunderBall 7 and Set Balls 8. It's also quite frequent with 1, 21 and 31 when machine 6 is being used. So if 26 came out and we look at all the coincidences, that's what it would look like. That's all the coincidences that we would get if these numbers come out in the next draw. Now, speaking of coincidences, just in case you didn't understand my comment when I replied to Mark Norville, when I was talking about which numbers were most frequent and so on and so on, I'll just show you what I'm talking about, just in case you didn't understand. So we're looking at the draw that occurred on Christmas Day, draw 2780. It was set 7. These were the winning numbers, and I've filtered it by coincidence, so you can see this is what I'm talking about. 28 was most frequent main number from set 7. So here we are, set 7. What's the most frequent main number? 28. And then, see, these are all the coincidences. You see 31, most overdue with ThunderBall 14. Yeah, number 9, most overdue with 31. And this is what I'm talking about. See, in this comment, I'm trying to describe all the coincidences that I see on the analyzer. That's all the coincidences for draw 2780. And then the one that came after, draw 2781. Looks like this. See, 33, most overdue. The only number that I got. This is the draw history, see, I got number 33. And if you notice, oh, £5, £10, £10, £5, £3. In the last 35 draws, I've won 36 quid. Hang on, no wait. 34 draws. Yeah, in the last 34 draws I've won 36 quid. So it's really amusing when someone says, I'm not sure where you're getting your figures from, but you are wrong. Well, if you read my comment, you know, it explains where I'm getting my figures from. And if I'm wrong, then how comes I've won 36 quid in 34 draws? Yeah, so I might be wrong, but I'm not far wrong, am I? So look at that, look, 38 most overdue for its frequency with 3 and machine 6. ThunderBall 14, no, main number 14, sorry. When you look at the machine, the ball set, the numbers that come out, you can see the coincidences, most overdue for frequency. See, usually, when you're looking at winning combinations, it's usually the most overdue numbers, the ones that are most overdue for the frequency, and occasionally the odd most frequent number, you know. So now, looking at the situation in the run up to draw 2782 is the next draw. We know it's going to be set 8. And when we look at the charts, the most outstanding numbers, 31 definitely a number to pick. 21 most overdue with that number and the machine that is going to be spitting out the numbers in the next draw. And like I said before, notice how number 1 pops up repeatedly with these numbers, and this ball set. Good reason to pick number 1. Now, I'm not sure whether to pick ThunderBall 8 or ThunderBall 7. But I think I've just got, like, you know, a bit of intuition, I'd say, that says, in my mind, ThunderBall 7 instead of ThunderBall 8. I might be wrong, I don't know. I don't really care. It's only a quid ago. So, anyway, for the next draw, I might just pick these numbers. Because most overdue for frequency, not just on their own but also with each other. It's a good combination of numbers. Now, when I said it's usually the most overdue or most overdue for the frequency type numbers that come out, when you're looking at numbers like 31, okay, 31 is a very frequent number, so it wouldn't surprise me if the numbers that come out with it are the ones that occur most frequently with it. And I'll show you why. Unfiltered draw history. See, 31, one of the most frequent numbers. That's why. So, anyway, that concludes this video.